Hello everyone, my name is Brian, but you can call me the Bugler, and today we're going to be breaking down the Arcstider Hunter subclass's grenades and comparing the supers from both skill trees. So starting off, we have the Skip Grenade. This grenade splits upon impact and creates multiple projectiles that seek enemies. After that, we have the Flux Grenade. This is a sticky grenade that will deal extra damage to enemies that it is attached to. And finally, we have the Arcbolt Grenade. This grenade chains bolts of lightning to nearby enemies. Let's take a look at the Skip Grenade first. When you throw the Skip Grenade and it collides with something, it will split into 4 projectiles. Each projectile can deal 2 ticks of impact damage as well as an explosive amount of damage. To the Modular Mind, we deal 2 ticks of 28 for the impact damage and 104 for the explosion. Multiply that by 4 projectiles, gives us 640 total damage. But the Skip Grenade's tracking behaves in quite an interesting way. Each individual projectile has its own tracking cone, meaning that if you throw this grenade in such a fashion that they are spread too far apart, not every single projectile will hit the enemy you're aiming at. Not only that, if you throw this projectile directly at an enemy, it will begin to track that enemy, and every projectile will turn around almost completely to hit that target. In addition to this, the grenade's tracking is not limited to the direction of momentum, meaning that there is some leeway in which the grenade will actually turn around 360 degrees to hit a target if you miss. Alright, let's move on to a little less interesting of a grenade. I'm of course referring to the Flux Grenade. This sticky grenade will deal extra damage to enemies that it is attached to. To the Modular Mind, we deal 2 ticks of 345 damage, plus 7 for the initial impact, gives us a grand total of 697 damage. This is the same amount of damage as the Sunbreaker Titan and Dawnblade's fusion grenades. And just like those grenades, it suffers severe fall-off damage, where you won't do the maximum amount of damage even if the grenade explodes right next to an enemy. And finally, we have our last grenade, the Arcbolt Grenade. This grenade behaves in a similar fashion to the other 2 grenades in the Bolt archetype, the Firebolt Grenade and the Axion Bolt Grenade. As such, it also deals the same amount of damage, at 621 for the Bolt. We can also deal impact damage with this grenade. In addition to this, it also shares the same cooldown as the other 2 Bolt grenades, 60 seconds. But that's where the similarities end. Unlike the other 2 grenades, this grenade will only send out 1 bolt of arc energy, which will chain to nearby enemies. Each enemy acts as its own beacon of arc energy, meaning that you can extend the range of this grenade further than its initial range. At first glance, this grenade seems to only be able to target 3 enemies, much like the Firebolt Grenade. However, that's actually due to the way in which this grenade chains. It can only chain in one direction. So if you throw the grenade in the middle of a group of enemies, it will only chain towards one direction of the enemies, limiting the amount of targets you can actually hit. If the enemies group up in the proper manner, you can actually hit up to 4 enemies with this grenade. This is the same amount of enemies you can hit with the Chaos Accelerant version of the Voidwalker Warlock's Axion Bolt Grenade. We're moving on to the main event next. We're talking about the highest single target damage that we can deal with our super. Unfortunately, we only have one real super modifier for the Arcstider. I'm referring to Lethal Current. After dodging, each Arcstaff hit creates a damaging lightning aftershock. Let's go over some numbers before we get into the footage. A light attack against the Modular Mind deals 566 damage. A heavy attack, no matter which attack it is in the chain or in the air, will deal 607 damage. A heavy finisher attack, or a heavy done after 2 light attacks, will deal 1,104 damage, and Lethal Current will deal 276 damage regardless of which attack triggers it. We're going to be using the light-heavy combo for a total of 566 damage plus 607, and we can do this combo up to 4 times against the Modular Mind. Let's get on to the footage. I'm going to slow this down quite a bit so you can see every time Lethal Current actually triggers. When it triggers, you'll see a bolt of lightning come directly from my body onto his. It does not trigger on every single hit though, only about every other hit. If we do this combo 4 times without Lethal Current active, the base damage we could deal is 4,692. With Lethal Current, we managed to get the lightning to trigger 5 times in this case. That brings our total here to 6,072. But if instead of doing the light heavy attack in our last combo against the Modular Mind and substitute it out for the heavy finisher combo, we can bring a possible maximum damage of 7,135. Keep in mind that this is very difficult to do against a large enemy, especially one that you can't stagger and might blast you away. This is why it's so hard to receive damage numbers this high, and it took me quite a bit of time to even get a good recording of this. And that's the end of this breakdown. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about how I conducted the tests, or why I might not have included other footage, please let me know so I can answer them for you. I'd also like to apologize for this video being as short as it is. Unfortunately, since I only have one super modifier to test, I don't really want to pad the view time because I feel like it's just a waste for you. As per usual, I'll be going on Twitch in about a half hour for a live Q&A session. You can find the link to my Twitch channel in this video's description for those of you who are interested. You can also find the link to our Discord server. This is a place where you can talk to like-minded individuals and just have a good time. We'd love to have you. In my next video, I'll be breaking down the Stormcaller Warlock's grenades and comparing the supers in both of those skill trees. That video should be a little bit longer because I've got more to work with. You can look forward to that video, hopefully, by tomorrow afternoon. So once again, thanks for watching, I hope I see you next time, and good luck getting through the exclusion zone.